Hi everybody, I'm going to do a quick segment today about one of my favourite things of all time, the Cannon Film Corporation. I watched a documentary about a week ago called Electric Boogaloo, the wild untold story of Cannon films. I thought they were being a little bit pretentious, like almost treating Cannon like they were basically incompetent, they didn't know anything about film. But just in case you really don't know who Cannon are and you've never kind of become aware of him, just going to show you a quick investor trailer from the 80s from Cannon that shows up their filmmaking prowess and what they're all about. Check it out.
Cannon Films, the home of high-powered, high-voltage motion picture entertainment. With the screen's biggest spectacles, brightest stars, and boldest lineup of explosive entertainment. We're taking motion picture excitement over the edge and your box office over the top. We're Cannon Films, and we're dynamite.
There you go. Let's have a quick look at some of my films now, my Cannon film collection. This is probably one of the very first ones I can ever really remember being a Cannon film. I remember one Sunday morning, my Uncle Jimmy, really irresponsibly, lent me this film, and I think I can just vaguely remember seeing like it saying Yoram Globus at the start, and then sort of thinking, have I sort of seen that name before? And then slowly piecing together I'd seen like Master of the Universe and stuff like that, and slowly becoming aware that who Cannon films were, so that's like an important one. But I think these four represent the real sort of cornerstone of what got me into Cannon, and mostly because of the cool artwork. Like I could say on that documentary, people were saying Cannon were basically didn't know what they were doing, like say they were basically just sort of coming ideas off the top of their head and stuff like that. But look at some of this glorious artwork, like for like Invasion USA, and then you've got like Stallone Cobra, which I still reckon is called Stallone Cobra because it says Stallone Cobra on every side of the tape. But amazing artwork. And then just reminds me of the Homer Simpson quote, but when did we stop rooting for the guy with the flamethrower? This is, I mean, look at that. Exterminator 2, Robert Ginty, like there with the welder's mask on and, just killing all the bad guys. And then talk about another seminal moment that just sort of got me into Cannon. I remember when I went to a Cannon cinema, and I can't remember what film I saw, but I think probably because I saw this and it blew my mind. But when I was walking down the stairs on the way out, they had a coming soon poster, and it's for Death Wish 3. And just seeing like Charles Bronson with this amazing like wielding magnum and everything, it's just like say in real life I'm not really that testosterone filled, and I don't really like get super angry very often, but just watching, it's like, wow, that is such an incredible manly image, just like the cool jacket, the moustache, the gun, goes all the way around to the back of the box and everything, so that's like really cool. And then you've got like other great like Bronson movies like Death Wish 2, and even like there, all you needed to know was Bronson is back, 10 to midnight, it's like, it's such great exploitation titles. And another thing I think is worthy of mentioning, that like obviously this is the first 4 Superman films, the Christopher Reeve ones, but they did Superman 4: The Quest for Peace when no film studio really gave two stuffs about comic book movies. And Superman 4, it is what it is. They cut the budget and it was filmed in the UK and everything, but it's really good. And then just something as simple as having the balls to do a film called Quest for Peace. I mean, that I don't think that gets nowhere near enough credit really. That's like another iconic film. And I think this is something as well. I think the really cool thing about Cannon was they could do something like this, like a time-travelling Chuck Norris film where he's just surrounded by fire. And then they can do something like this called Dancers from the director of Footloose. And these are both from the exact same film studio. Like, I really think that's part of Cannon's charm to me, that they could ping pong back and forth like that. And again, like you've got like an action film, like a dance movie, and then you could do something like this. And this is genuinely, it's considered now to be one of the greatest horror sequels of all time. And I've even read that the screenplay deserves to be published. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. And last year, Arrow Films, a UK company, released an amazing Blu-ray of it. It was remastered by the original director of photography who worked for Canon. It comes with 2 extra Tobe Hooper films that have never been released before, and a 100-page book. They're all individually numbered. And this, if you're a Canon fan, a Tobe Hooper fan, a horror movie fan, this is definitely one for your collection. And again, I think Canon, this is like an amazing thing about Canon, they do things like this, undercover, he's going back to school as a cop. And it's like, I just don't know how many films Canon made, and then you've got the War Boy, and like, what is this about? In 1944, weapons were its toys, it's only game survival. I mean, and look at this other great thing about old films, just text on the back. It's like, you had to read the box to see if it was going to be any good. This is a great cult classic. This always gets a lot of respect. Buckaroo Banzai Adventures Across the Ninth Dimension, 8th Dimension even. Peter Wall, Robocop. This is an incredible film as well, Life Force. And what's really amazing about this is Tobe Hooper, and look at that, a topless woman on the box. You wouldn't do that nowadays. I'm surprised that didn't cause more controversy, especially because the BBFC, they're miserable. And then you got real, like, I've seen this film about 50 times, and even I don't remember it being Canon. So this is even more amazing that this is supposedly a Canon Films film. It's Deal and De Laurentiis, and I can imagine Canon being involved with it. But great excuse to check Cat Saves again. A great Stephen King film. Enter the Ninja. When I saw Franco Nero in London, and he was doing a talk about Django, he said even now people still recognise him from Enter the Ninja. Canon started the ninja craze basically, and even now things like ninjas, vigilantes, horror movies, superhero movies, people now think they're amazing if they do a film like that, and basically Canon started all that. Got Bloodsport at the time, quite sort of, you know, almost like, you know, the new Bruce Lee at the time, like a revolutionary martial artist kind of thing, so that's kind of cool. You probably know video about Canon films would be complete without mentioning Michael Dudikoff. Star of American Ninja 1, American Ninja 2, they lost him for American Ninja 3, they got David Bradley in that one, and then they got them both back for American Ninja 4, and then they lost him again for Michael Dudikoff for American Ninja 5, and they got David Bradley back. I managed to get American Ninja 5, I saw it once in the video shop and never got round to going it. Then you've got all these other cool Michael Dudikoff films like Rescue Me, Riddler of Death, Platoon Leader, and Midnight Ride. This is just a small fraction of the Canon's output. They did really classy stuff from Bar, Flying, Runaway Train to, well, all the stuff you see here. Now have a quick look at this Canon poster next. This is probably one of my favourite Canon collectibles. I managed to get it from a local cinema. Actual, for real, Death Wish 2 quad poster. Really awesome. Probably would have preferred the Death Wish 3 poster because that's something else, but you can never dock a Charles Bronson 2 Death Wish 2 poster, and it's, like I say, one of my first exposures to Canon, and hopefully this video will inspire you to go buy a Canon film or watch a Canon film, and some are on Netflix, so try and find them if you can, and go to your local video shops, record shops if there is any, and see you later.